Hey up, did you enjoy the exercise in swift boating that Donald Trump and his people subjected Kamala Harris, or Cackles as I now call her, to last weekend? You will recall, I'm sure, that Trump was photographed at a McDonald's frying the chips and then serving up food to people coming through the drive-through. He also got the chance, speaking to the press at the Mackie D, to tell everybody who would listen that Kamala Harris was a liar because she had claimed, cackled that is, had claimed that 40 years ago she worked a summer at a Mackie D. Trump said this was not true, and the whole affair dominated the election coverage over the weekend. It was very good fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Why did Trump do that? Well, I'll come back to that in a moment. What is swift boating? I want to talk about, because you've really got to be an American to understand it. Basically, it's a smear. It is a way of smearing your opponent with a scurrilous story that has little or no resemblance to the truth, to discredit him in the eyes of the people that you want him to be discredited in. It dates back 20 years to the election of 2004 when George Bush defeated John Kerry. Basically, the Bush team had a problem. Kerry was a genuine war hero. He had served as a lieutenant in the American Navy, and he'd commanded a swift boat. Swift boats were 50-foot long, aluminium hulled coastal and river patrol boats. Heavily armoured, they had 2 half-inch machine guns and an 81mm mortar on them. And they sailed up and down the rivers and, killed Viet Cong. Kerry was not just served in Vietnam, he was a genuine war hero. He was awarded, I'm doing this from memory, but I think he was awarded the Silver Star, the Bronze Star, and the Purple Heart for wounds. I think he got that twice. Now, by anybody's, in anybody's opinion, he is a hero. That's what heroes do, and that's why they're given medals. George Bush spent the Vietnam War skulking in Texas. He joined the Texas Air National Guard. That's when he wasn't drinking. He was an alcoholic in those days. So you've now got a skulker up against a war hero. You would expect the war hero to win, but the Republicans came up with a very clever strategy. What they did was they set up a fake organization. They called it Swiftboat Veterans for Truth. And this organization, which legally had no connection to the Republican Party, then began to spread the smear that Kerry had not actually earned the medals that he was awarded, and they demanded investigations into how the medals were awarded, and so on and so forth. Now, the smear was quickly rebutted. Even John McCain an Arizona senator and a Republican, but also a war hero, refused to have anything to do with this nonsense. But he still helped Bush win the election because the point about swift-boating somebody is not that you want to persuade his hardline supporters to jump ship to you. What you want to do is to persuade the people who are leaning in your direction to put aside whatever doubts they have about your character. Now, when it came to George Bush, doubts about his character were massive. So, what they did was, by smearing Kerry, in effect, they created a balance between Bush and Kerry. They allowed people who were leaning towards Bush anyway to put aside their doubts about his character, and they could say to themselves, well, yes, Bush is a skulker, but Kerry didn't deserve those medals, so they're both the same. I'll vote for Bush. That's swift-boating. How does this fit into Cackles today? Very nicely, actually. Cackles claimed that she had worked in a McDonald's 40 years ago. Nobody can prove that she did. Nobody can prove that she didn't. 40 years is a long time. So what Bush does is he goes along and takes over a McDonald's. It's a carefully staged stunt. Nobody pretends it's anything but. And he's then able to stand there talking to people, the staff. He seemed to get on very well with them. And he could say that Cackles had lied about her past record. Why did Cackles make the comment about working in McDonald's? Well, she's trying to claim that she is a black politician. And you would expect a black politician from a housing project, perhaps brought up by a single mother. You would expect her to work in a McDonald's. It's that area that she's trying to head to. Well, it just doesn't work with Cackles. She's the daughter of two academics. From the age of 10, she was living in Montreal, Quebec. Yes, on her mother's side, she's Indian. On her father's, he's Jamaican. His connection to the slave trade is quite straightforward. He's descended directly from one of the major slave owners in the Jamaica colony of the day, a man who, when slavery was abolished in the empire in the 1830s, began to import Irish labourers. He was from Ireland originally. So she's not exactly what you would expect from a politician who's trying to get votes from the descendants of slaves rather than her being the descendant of a slave owner. So the McDonald's comment was an attempt to show that she is just an ordinary woman who was once an ordinary girl who worked in McDonald's. Trump came along and basically destroyed that particular argument. Now people are asking the question, did she really work in McDonald's? Which I don't think is important. I suspect she probably did. The question they should be asking is, what does it matter? She can't claim that she is a young woman, a woman from the projects, when she's the daughter of two senior academics. It's about background, it's about values, it's about personality. And the personality and the values and the background of Cackles are not what she wants you to believe. And Donald Trump, I think, did a very good job of proving that. Think on.